exposure working with Dana Petroleum plc in Aberdeen and has also advanced his expertise through the company Lab Product Management Program, where he led a cross-functional team to design and launch a functional web application. He holds a Bachelor of Technology in Computer Science and Mathematics from FUTO, Nigeria, and an MBA from the Robert Gordon University, UK. Certified as a PMP, Tochukwu combines intellectual depth with practical execution, embodying the qualities of influence, innovation, and leadership. Passionate about technology-driven transformation, business analysis, and future-ready project management, Tochukwu continues to mentor, consult, and inspire professionals across Africa and beyond. Her work has enabled founders across Africa to access world-class incubators, accelerators, and funding opportunities.
All right. So if our emojis are not too busy, let us please welcome Mr. Tochukwu as he takes the stage. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Manuela.
Thank you, sir.
It's nice to be here today.
So I'm going to start sharing.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great. Thank you. And good evening, everyone. It's really nice to be here. And I'll share my screen. I have a small presentation that I want to use. I'm hoping that, okay, let me know when you can see my screen.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, let me know when you can see my slides.
I can see it now, sir.
Okay, great.
It's visible now. Yes.
Fantastic. So you can see the power of voice in leadership. And so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone, depending on where we are. And like I mentioned, I'm very delighted to be speaking today as we explore this topic that, in my opinion, very often underestimated, but absolutely essential in leadership. That is the power of voice. And I believe that we understand that voice is not just about speaking loudly. It's about influence, it's about authenticity, and it's about impact. I believe over the next 20 to 30 minutes, we'll just discuss each and every one of us. I would like also to have your comments on what you think. I will ask a few questions as we progress, and I would like your comments as we move ahead. Okay. All right. So I will ask, why does voice as a tool really matter? Now, this quote by Martin Luther King Jr., just for me, explains it. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. So I really like us to think about that and reflect on it for a moment, right? And one thing I like about the power of voice is that a lot of the leaders, the great leaders we see today, did not start with armies or wealth or any of those. They started with their words. From Mandela to, I think Mandela is a very popular speech of freedom when he was released from jail after 26 years. Malala had a bold voice for education. You know, their voices became their power. And that's the journey that I believe that we are going to be stepping into today. Okay. So for me, when I think about voice, there are two dimensions to it. There's a literal voice and there's a leadership voice, right? So the literal voice, we are talking about how we sound, you know, our tone. And the leadership voice is about our character, our values, and our impact. So when I say voice in leadership, I don't mean just the sound of your speech. I mean the ability to influence, to remain authentic, and to communicate clearly. Now, what is What is influence? Is how your words shape decisions. Authenticity is about staying true to your values, and communication is about your clarity of vision. So when they say clarity, for me, it's ensuring people understand where you are going as a leader and why. Okay, so why is voice so powerful? Voice inspires trust. Now, people are more likely to follow leaders they believe, right? The voice drives change. So you can think of how campaigns and movements are started with a message. Very popular messages we have had in the world from, for those who read a lot, Martin Luther King Jr., I Have a Dream, to Obama. Obama had a phrase of "Yes, we can." If we go back even in Nigeria here, in the last 2 years, I think that was the person that had what I would like to refer to as a cult followership in a very short space of time, Peter Obi, is that the new Nigeria is possible. Those kind of tones. So if you are in an organization, what are the kind of things you would say as a leader that will shape, for example, the culture of that organization? So, that voice should give hope to people, right? It's very, very important. Now, I'd like us to look into a dimension of leadership voice. So I'd like to share 5 dimensions. I have it on the screen here. Confidence, clarity, empathy, authenticity, and consistency. Now, with confidence as a leader, you have to speak with assurance, even in uncertainty. And now, when I talk about confidence, there is certain people that come to my mind, and that's the air hosts and hostesses. If you see them, if you have ever been in a flight, a troubled flight, you would see their composure. And those guys, I call them my MVPs. Confidence, even in uncertainty. Clarity. Clarity is about stripping away every complexity. So everyone across the people you are addressing understands what you're saying. So you talk to, maybe if you're in an organization, you talk to topmost leadership, you talk to middle management, you talk to the casual workers, everybody understands you because you are clear to each and every segment of your followers. Empathy. A leader must connect with people's struggles. If you cannot connect with people's struggles, then you have started failing. Yes, we can. Obama. What struggles did he connect with? He connected with a certain class of people who felt they couldn't get into the top leadership and as high as being the president of the United States. Yes, we can. He won that campaign and he gave a lot of people a different kind of hope. Another dimension is authenticity. It's simple. Don't pretend, be real, be you. Now, you really find out that even those people that we want to consider as bad leaders, right? Because they are who they are, whether good or bad, and they don't pretend about it, they have the followers. So if you look everywhere in the world, from the Hitlers to the, which we regard as bad, to the good people, they all had the followership because they were authentic. They were who they were. And consistency. As a leader, you need to say what you mean and mean what you say. If you do not say what you mean and mean what you say, you have started shaking, right? So these are, for me, 5 dimensions of leadership that I would like us to take home today. It's very key. Then this voice, you might ask yourself, how do I develop this leadership voice. Now, how do you actually build this voice really? So for me, these listed here are a few practical skills. Active listening. What is active listening? By definition, it's a communication technique where one focuses intently on a speaker, both verbally and not verbally, right? To understand, the intention is to understand the message fully. So in active listening, you are demonstrating genuine interest, you are asking clarifying questions, and you're avoiding distractions. So essentially, it's about listening with the intent to understand and not just to respond. And that's where you will stand out as a leader if you are a good active listener. So no matter who you're talking to, it's not about what you feel about what you're saying or your perception. It's about understanding what the person is trying to say. And that's by asking questions, oh, do you mean this? Or when you said this, did you mean that? That is active listening. This is for me, one of the most important skills to develop as a leader, to improve that leadership voice. Now, storytelling. Everybody loves a story. In fact, when I listen to TED Talks, people who come with a story, whatever they say sticks with me for life. Because all I need to do is to relate with that story, and then whatever they have said remains with me for life. So, storytelling, what is it? A form of communication where if I'm the one telling the story and you are the listener, I'm sharing experiences to put out what I'm trying to talk about, be it cultural values or, even inspiring actions I might have taken in the past. I'm sharing that as a form of communication. Then we have a tone and the body language. So these are, I want to refer to them as very crucial elements of non-verbal communication. Imagine that you're, talking to somebody, you're saying something, and your body language is conveying something entirely different. As a leader, when you are talking, your tone and your body language should align. Then, because as you're talking, people are looking at you. And, oh, is he really believing what he's telling us? Is he confident enough? So the sound of your voice, your pitch, your volume, your gestures, facial expression, all these things are things that people look out for. And as a leader, they should inspire your audience or your followers. Then one of the things that are most important is your digital presence. And for me, what you are putting out there, what is out there is very key. I mean, in the world today, your online presence is, I believe it carries as much weight as your offline presence. So these are very, now when you develop your leadership voice, how do you strengthen it? Public speaking. Now, years back, I hated speaking, or I hated putting myself out. So I was more comfortable being in the shadows, doing all the heavy lifting, as part of my contribution. But going out there to speak, I didn't just want to do it. And I don't think it's because I could not, it's just that I didn't want to. But it got to a stage, it gets to a stage in your career, you must come out and talk, right? So what did I do? I got introduced to Toastmasters then by a friend. And for me, it was a fail-safe environment where I could take up projects, speaking projects, speak with my club members and get feedback. When I say fail-safe, what I mean is that I can make mistakes and I will get corrected. And I remember then, even till now, they use the three-pronged approach in evaluating speeches. What you did well, what you did not do well, and how you can be better. So I there practiced public speaking and got feedbacks and got better, right? Then you learn and understand what, when, and how of what to say. You don't just come out and speak. You have to prepare. You have to prepare to speak. Know your audience, know what to say, know how to say it, know the kind of jokes you are putting out. These help to strengthen your voice. And as you practice, you get better. Then speak up, use your voice. Use your voice, for crying out loud. Now, sometimes some of us might wonder, oh, we don't have the platform. We are not, if we come out to contest for governorship, for local government, they will not vote for us. Now, I tell people, you have your local community. You can volunteer there. Some of us maybe that live in estates, you can volunteer there. You can do things, you can lend your voice. Help to develop your community with your voice. And that you begin to build a profile for yourself that will be needed in the future. So wherever you are, I believe you have an opportunity to use your voice wisely. You know, we have a history full of leaders who changed the world with their voices. And here, I believe that the people attending this call are from different countries in Africa. So I would like people to, in the comment section, just share that leader in your community, in your country, who you feel has stood out with their voice and what the person did. Maybe at the end of this presentation, we might just go through and have a little bit of conversation, right? So I believe there are lots of them where we come from. So I just want us to get the comment section busy with the names of those people. Now, let's be real. Using your voice, for us using our voices, it's not easy. And there are challenges young leaders will face. The fear of speaking up, the self-doubt, lack of clarity. Then I believe there's the most popular one in Africa, which are cultural biases, things like you are too young, wait for your turn, But here's the truth. Every leader, I believe, faced these. So it's not unique. Nobody is going to present anything to you. You have to look for these opportunities and take it, right? Every leader we see today faced this. It wasn't handed over to anybody on a platter of gold. But the truth is that the way forward is to start small. Prepare, simplify your message, and let your results speak alongside your words. Because, courage, they say, is built by practice. There's no time that you will say to yourself, oh, I am ready to be a leader and now I am starting. No. You're never there 100%, but you take the baby steps. And as we take the baby steps, we continue to develop and grow as we take those baby steps. So really, I'd like to wrap up, but I'll say this, and I would like us to remember this. Really. Leadership without voice is silent leadership, and to me is useless. Your voice is your power. It's not just the words you speak, but the values you stand for. We are in a world today where we are raising people without values. You have to have values, and it has to be clear. And the courage you show and the change you ignite all will come from those values. Your voices can challenge injustice, it can build bridges, it can spark innovations, it can comfort or provoke thought. I mean, you can use your voice for a bad thing, but I don't believe that's what we are out here to do. But we have visions for our countries, for our communities, and we rally people towards those shared visions with our voice. The world we live in today is filled with so much noise, but our voices need to be clear, needs to be consistent, and it needs to be courageous. That's what will make the difference. So really, as we navigate our lives and our community and our world that desperately needs bold ideas, I believe that we all will be compassionate leaders that will use our voices, to launch projects, to help people, to speak out for the oppressed. And most importantly, these voices will be developed to this extent that we will mentor others, or it could just be by simply speaking up in meetings. But I want us to understand that our voice matters. So I challenge us today. The challenge is 3 challenges. Find your voice, rooted in very strong values and vision. Then you refine your voice through practice, feedback, and reflection. Then you use the voice, because after developing and refining, if you don't use it, all you have done is useless. So use your voice, not just for your personal success, but for collective impact. Never be afraid to use this voice, because the world doesn't just need more leaders, it needs leaders who speak with purpose, leaders who will lead with empathy and act with integrity. So it's been nice talking with us. If we have any questions, we can put it on the comment section. And I believe now we can maybe look at the comments we have, and if there's anything we need to talk about. I believe we can have 3 to 5 minutes to talk about. Yes, Tunde Onakoya is someone that inspires me a lot, right? Your craft can also be your voice, and is somebody that has used his craft and has his voice. I mean, we are testament to it, that his voice has gone through to the end of the world. That is the power of the voice in leadership.
Thank you so much, sir, for that. Okay, yeah.
Thank you. I just wanted to go through the comments, the names. Fantastic.
Okay. No
I
problem.
see Honorable Mohammed Silas. Fantastic. So we can all identify with all these leaders that, dead or alive, have their voices have inspired a lot of us. Okonjo Iweala, yes, you're correct. Fantastic. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, a well-known writer and activist, indeed. Maya Angelou, indeed. Thanks all. How do we run this? Are we going to have comments or questions?
Thank you very much, sir, for that section. It was a wonderful one. And I am excited because you just brought back something to my head. Because most times when we talk about voices, it's as if, okay, maybe majorly it's just to talk, or even when we take our voices online, maybe it's just to follow the crowd and talk to, and not to stand out. But when you said we can use our voice to inspire, to build, and to lead causes with courage, it's brought back a very good remembrance. So thank you so much, sir, for that section. It was a wonderful one. I believe our leaders too must have also learned a lot. So if there are questions, you could simply ask using the comment box, or you could unmute your mic and ask. I think I saw one on the comment section. Let me look for it and see if I can take it. Okay. So Goitom asked, can you give us an instances of personal values of a leader?
Personal values.
Mm-hmm. I think you discussed it when you talked about integrity, honesty, courage. If that is what he's asking about.
It's a bit the personal values. Like say values, Personal values. Yes, those are values that leaders should have, right? Because people are watching you. You need to be authentic. You need to be yourself. Say what you mean and mean what you say, right? Yes, you might have other values like you would not, I know certain people that will not take certain maybe appointments or certain appointments from certain governments because they do not agree with what the government is doing. Those are personal values. It's not right or wrong, but those are personal values. But I believe that in terms of the general values leaders should have, it's like I mentioned, integrity, uprightness, say what you say what you mean what you say. It is something that every leader should have, right? You need to be pointed out as someone that is authentic. If you are not, it's difficult. I would use, as a Nigerian, I will use the presidential aspirant of the Labour Party, former, is somebody that I would say that a lot of people followed because of perceived values he had. And I'll say that because he did not have the right platform, for example, he didn't have the best platform to run a presidential election because a lot of people heard him and kind of he appealed to them. He was able to, get that empathy part. He was able to at least make majority of the citizens feel that he understands them and is there to fight for them. That is why he got any attention. Now, what do I learn from that? That is what integrity, perceived integrity will get you, where you can come out and say things and tell people to go and verify without flinching. Well, whether they verify and it turns out to be false or not is a different conversation. But for somebody to come out and put his integrity on the line, he will definitely appeal to most people.
Okay, thank you, sir, for that.
Oh, I see a hand raised. I see a hand raised. I don't know if you would take that. Is there a
Yes, please.
queue?
Whoever, yes, there's a queue. I think it was Mohammed. Please, you can unmute your mic and speak. If you did raise your hand, Adamu Mohammed. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
good morning, good evening, everyone. Thank
Good
you so much.
evening.
Yes, good evening.
This is really an impactful session. Really appreciate the leaders you cited, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, and other leaders like Barack Obama and Peter Obi recently. This is really insightful, and as future African leaders, I think it's very important and it is high time to start raising our voices on issues affecting our community. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your efforts, and the presentation is quite impactful, and we promise to start raising our voice on issues affecting our communities as soon as possible. Thank you once again.
But thank you very much, Adamu. I very appreciate your words. Thank you.
All right. So, are there any more questions? Any other questions? If you have questions, you can please unmute your mic and ask, or you can ask using the chat box. Okay. Okay. Since there are no other indications, thank you, sir, for spending the evening with Top 100. Thank you once more for the impactful session you had with us. Like the last speaker said, like the last person said, we would learn to use our voice to talk about issues that really affects us, and not just to be, we shouldn't be a troublemaker online. Because I think that's what is trending now. Everybody wants to be the fighter and the keypad warriors and all of that. But we can channel our voices for good causes and make our countries proud. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
please let
Thank you,
us
Manuel.
give Mr. Tochukwu a round of applause before he leaves. Thank you so much, sir. All right. That was a very impactful session. And then there was something Mr. Tochukwu said that caught my attention. He said our online presence matters a lot, not just our offline presence. Because some of us, or I don't know, some youths, they have the habit of going online and portraying characters that they shouldn't. And then when it comes to job interviews or they share their links for something serious, all of these things comes back to haunt them. Like they said, the internet never forgets. So if we are putting our voices out there, we don't have to do it to disrespect anybody. We can do it gently, calmly, honorably, and then say what we need to say and make a difference. So we would I would confirm. Okay, yes, our next speaker she's here. So I'm just going to introduce her and then she would take the mic. Good evening, Miss Belinda. Good evening. Let me share my screen quickly.
Hi, good evening.
All right. Good evening, ma. Let me share my screen quickly. Then you can carry on from there. All right. So our next speaker for this evening happens to be Belinda Idimachi. She'll be taking us on building online credibility that attracts opportunity. But before she speaks, we'd like to know who she is.
Belinda Nkechi Adinmachi is an entrepreneurship program and community specialist with a strong track record in growth marketing, program design, and strategic partnerships across Africa. She currently serves as the West and Central Africa Coordinating Ambassador at One Young World, as well as an entrepreneurship specialist for the ALX Founder Academy, where she has driven global program expansion, exceeded recruitment and graduation targets, and built thriving entrepreneurship communities of over 40,000 members. Her work has enabled founders across Africa to access world-class incubators, accelerators, and funding opportunities. She has designed and implemented entrepreneurship programs funded by GIZ, MasterCard Foundation, and CFYE Netherlands, increasing female participation, building self-led community models, and securing millions in funding for startups. As a former chief growth officer at Shecluded, Belinda spearheaded the company's first incubator and accelerator programs, leading to a 36% increase in revenue and a 160% growth in customer acquisition. She has also held leadership roles at Kunda Kids, Pages and Inc., and Sebo Rapid Nigeria, consistently delivering growth through strategic marketing and partnerships. Her impact has been recognized globally. Passionate about equipping founders, amplifying female participation, and building thriving entrepreneurial ecosystems, Belinda continues to shape the future of entrepreneurship across West and Central Africa.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma. You're welcome. You're welcome. The mic is yours.
Thank you so much, Emanuela. Thank you guys for the very warm welcome, for the emojis. I can see all of that. Thank you. I'm feeling really cool. Let me quickly share my screen and we can take it up from there. So, technical checks. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know. Give me thumbs up if you can hear me.
Yes, Ma.
Now, what can you see? What can you see on my screen?
Building online credibility that attracts opportunities by Belinda Nkechi Idimachi.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Where is the chat? I need to find the chat. Or maybe Emanuela, you can help me read out when I prompt you to. But let me try again to be sure that I can.
No problem,
great.
I can do that for you.
Okay, great. I can see my chat as well. All right, thank you. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever in the world that you're joining us from. Good evening, and thank you all so much for having me today. So quickly, because I have only 35 minutes, I think, let's get into it. The topic for today is building online credibility, but not a purposeless online credibility. It's online credibility that attracts opportunities. Today, I am working that truly satisfies my soul. I am working a job that I can't say that it's my dream job. I'm earning in foreign currency. I work remotely. I am supporting entrepreneurs, which is my live stream. If I weren't paid to do this job, I would still do it. I would still do it if I weren't paid to do it. But let me tell you guys, if I shared my story with you, you will understand that there are lots of places, there are lots of times in my life or scenarios that could have hindered me from getting here. But there were certain things that I did, and one of them was building my online credibility. And as I continue to share, I'll share some of my stories with you. So, what exactly? I know how all of you here are awardees for the top 100 African future leaders, right? But let me know quickly, by show of hands, or maybe in the chat by typing, who here believes their first-class degree alone is enough to unlock every opportunity they desire? If you believe that your first-class degree or your fantastic academic certificates is enough to unlock opportunities that you desire, let me see your hand up. If you believe that, raise your hand or put the raise hand emoji or put the thumbs up emoji. Yeah, put the thumbs up emoji if you believe that. If you don't, put the thumbs down emoji. All right. It looks like we are all aligned. Excellent. That's why we're here today. You've conquered academia. You've proven your intellectual prowess. But in today's digital age, your online presence is increasingly becoming the most powerful resume you will ever own, not your CV, not your certificate. It plays a role, right? But increasingly, your online presence is becoming most powerful. When you apply for visas, they are going to look you up on social media. I hope you guys know that. They're going to look you up on social media. When you apply for jobs, they are going to look you up on social media. When you apply for certain types of opportunities, they are going to look you up on social media. So it's beginning to look like this social media thing. I can't run away from it. Introverts like me, we can't run away from it. It has come to stay. So we might as well just find a way to leverage it to grow. See, social media gives me anxiety. It gives me anxiety. Like, sometimes I will delete all of them for a month or as long as I can, just to detox and then recenter myself and then come back to the social world, right? I do that. I do not like it at all, but I've come to understand the importance. And it's my hope that by the end of today's class, we will explore how to intentionally build an online presence that doesn't just look good, but actively attracts the opportunity that you're destined for. So let me know in the chat, everybody. What are some of the opportunities that you're looking for? Okay, I'm not following my slides. So why is online credibility very important? Why is it very important? Why is it important in this day and age? And maybe we start by explaining further what exactly it is. What exactly is your online credibility, right? If I ask you now, you probably know one or two people on social media who have been impacted either positively or negatively by a brand that they have put out there. And guess what? Whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, whether you're intentional about it or not, you are building a brand on social media. As long as you're putting out content, and that content can also be your comments in other people's posts, your reactions. Whether you like it or not, you're already building an online presence. So today we want to explore how we can be more intentional about this. About building an online credibility, right? And what this means, I have built an online credibility. It means that I'm now a trusted expert online. And the second thing is that I have an authentic voice. I heard the previous speaker talking about authenticity. It's not about showing up online with your hair bonnet or looking all scruffy because I want to show up as my, that's not authenticity, and we will get there very soon. It means that you have an authentic voice, right? It means that you're a valuable contributor, you're a valuable online contributor. That's what it means. That's what it means to build online credibility. And today, we are going to go into some pillars, about I think 4 pillars, or is it 5 pillars of building your online credibility. But before we get there, let's quickly address this online credibility thing. Let me know in the chats when you think about, when I'm looking here, it's my screen is here, so I'm not looking away from you all, so and I'm not distracted. My screen is so when it can have both positive and negative impacts on your credibility, right? Which is why it's important that you're very intentional about it. So let's think quickly. Let's go the negative route first. Can you think about 1 or 2 people in recent times whose content online has led to a negative credibility for them? If you can think about somebody, please type it in the chat, and maybe also put in what happened, just a brief of what happened. They put this out and they got a lot of backlash, which was negative credibility for them. Put that in the chat. But Tunde Onakoya is my favorite story. You know, the power of the internet is that you can decide today that, you know what, I want to make it on this internet space. I'm going to share later. You follow them, a big picture of what you are actually expecting, right? Think about Tunde Onakoya. So many days. How many of you know Tunde Onakoya? If you know him, please put the thumbs up. So Tunde Onakoya is the founder of Chess and Slums, Chess and Slums. He has built this NGO for many years, and in the past 2 to 3 years, he has gained lots of international recognition and has taken his team from the slum to the streets of New York and all. So now you might be where you are today just wondering, is it even possible for that to happen to me, to the point where, because I'm building my online credibility, I begin to land the kind of opportunities that I'm looking for? Is that even possible for me? Let Tunde be a sign to you today that it is possible to go from obscurity, where nobody knows you, to where people know you and they want to work with you, they want to be in your circle, just because you follow this pillar that I'm going to share today, which are some of the things that I've learned from his life as well, and my personal experience as well. So again, today, let me tell you that whatever you put out online, you should know that, 1, it could have negative impacts on credibility, and it could have positive impact on your credibility. And yes, thank you everyone for sharing. I'm seeing lots of Nigerian examples. But I know that there are people from other countries on this Instagram space. It's not just Nigerians. So I want to see in the chat what's happening in Kenya, what's happening on the internet, what negative negative credibility are we seeing spurring up here and there because of a negative content that someone has put out? Yes, Bill Gates has been in the news lately for several negative content or productions that he has put out in the world. Yeah, we know about Kwam One, we know about, I don't know about Regina Daniels, we know about Comfort and, related online content that has given people negative credibility. So it's just a call for us to be very mindful, because as you work towards building a strong online presence, know that it could have both negative and positive impacts on you, but you can be intentional about it to ensure that it always yields positive results. So quickly in the chat, let me know, what opportunities are you looking out for? What opportunities do you want to get? Is it jobs? Is it money? See, if it's money, don't be shy about it, right? Don't be shy about it. Type it. It's a very, very important opportunity that one can also aim for. At this point in my life, I am focused on money because I'm mom of two, and it takes money to raise children, right? I cannot just be about passion and chasing passion. Money is very important. And so in building my online presence as well, and in the thing, I'm very intentional about that. So whatever it is, let me know in the chat. Someone's at Debola, at jobs. Tambadu Farm says money. Emanuela says influence, impact, and lots of money. Great. Fumilayo says jobs and opportunities. I love this one so much because there was a time in my life where what I just wanted opportunities to travel abroad, all expense paid. That year, I said my goal this year, my purpose for my online presence this year is to attract opportunities to be able to travel, all expense paid. And I'll tell you some more about this. So let's look at 5 key pillars of online credibility. 5 key pillars. What should you, when you say intentionality, what would I do with this intentionality? These are the key pillars you need to focus on. The first one is purpose. The second one is expertise. The third one is authenticity. The fourth one is consistency. And the fifth one is engagement and value delivery. I'm looking at my time so that I'm sure that I stick to it. So quickly, let's look at the first one, purpose, right? So before you build, you need to know what you're building. If I'm building my online presence, I need to know why I'm building it for. The topic today says it's about opportunities, but what kind of opportunities exactly? And I'm happy that a lot of you here already knows why you're building your online presence. Stephen says travel, tourism, fantastic. I love it. Suru says job opportunities that'll help me harness my potentials. Good night, buddy. I love you. Bye-bye. Good night. My mom is in a meeting. I'll see you after my meeting. All right, the life of a mom. All right, so Rahima says research opportunities, fantastic. Modube says graduate research opportunities in the field of mathematics, fantastic. Please, everybody, this part of the session is important. I need you now to, if you don't want to share it publicly, take a pen and a paper right now and write and clarify what your goals are. Find out what that purpose, the reason you're building this online presence, find out what it's for, right? It's not, your online presence is not for general showcase. I'm going to give you just 1 minute. Take your time, think about it. So there are some strategies to finding out what this purpose is or defining this purpose for yourself. So first, clarify your goals. What kind of goals, what kind of roles, what kind of projects, what kind of collaborations are you genuinely seeking? So if you're saying, I love how specific some of you have become. Abdul says graduate research opportunities in biomedical science. So now maybe you should go ahead and add what country, what school, right? Have you identified the professor, the specific professor that you would like to work with, that you like to get his attention on this internet? So you have to be as specific as possible. Don't just think generally about maybe a good job or research opportunities. Be very specific. For example, are you aiming for a senior data science role at a tech startup, seeking collaborators for a sustainable agriculture initiative, or you're looking for speaking engagements on youth empowerment? Speaking engagements, a few years ago, my friend was invited by the African Union to speak, and it was the information, the content she was sharing about her work online that enabled her get that. So be very specific. And then again, I said, identify your audience. For Abdul, who said he was looking for research opportunities, I said, have you identified the schools? Have you even gone ahead to say, in this school, in that department, what's the name of the professor? Is he on LinkedIn? Where is he? Is he on ResearchGate? Is he on Reddit? If professors are there, is he on LinkedIn? Where exactly? If you know who they are, if you know the audience that you are looking to attract, that opportunity lives with, it's easier for you to determine the channel that you will use to the channels or the platforms that you will share your online presence on, right? So for example, you want to attract venture capitalists. There was a time in my life I wanted to be a venture capitalist. My online presence then was focused on, okay, these are the things that I'm doing. This is how I'm supporting businesses. These are some topics or events, entrepreneurship events that I've organized. I was posting about them, right? So the third thing is define your niche. Now, you might not get this right from the beginning. You might not get it right from the beginning. Don't dwell so much in, oh, just, building that perfect goal or that perfect purpose. Start with something. And as you go on, you continue to refine your presence, you continue to refine your message, you continue to refine everything. So you can also think about, for those of you, for somebody who says, Blessing said, scholarship, trying to find a good example. So Shobande says academic scholarship, research writing, wealth and networking with academic scholarship. When you're talking about academic scholarship, what's the specific area in your field that you are referring to specifically? So think about that, right? Think about that and start with something. It's important because being a generalist online will make it harder for you to stand out. It's making it harder for you to pass that message across to that audience that you want to reach. So it's important that start with a place, start with what do you know best about, what course did you study in school, which topic did you find so was easy for you, or did you find very, very interesting that you can build content around, but also make sure that it's tied to that goal or that kind of opportunity that you're looking for. Then think long term, right? That's the fourth thing. Think long term. How does your online presence contribute to your overarching career or business objectives, or your leadership objectives, or your scholarships and the grants that you're looking for? Think long term and be intentional about putting out content related to that. So let me share a bit of my story. So at some point in my life, like I told you guys earlier, I wanted opportunity to travel with young people, all expense paid, to attend an international summit. And I had just had a mom. I had just had my first child. This was 8 years ago. I had just had my first child, and I just didn't want to be just mom. I wanted more to my life beyond, just changing diapers and feeding an infant. And then I also thought about, at that point in my life also, I was going through some personal challenges with my child, with his feeding. But I was also reading about that particular problem that I have, which is feeding my child that had multiple allergies. I went on Stanford School of Medicine and registered for a course on child nutrition and cooking. I was taking the course, and as I was taking this course, I was sharing everything that I was learning online. I was sharing everything I was learning online because I wanted to show that, you can have a problem, find solution about this problem, and be able to talk about it, share about it with the world. So I was hoping that maybe somehow that could land me an international a place to go on an international journey as a delegate. And did it work? Yes. So it's not just about putting. I was putting out that content, but also remember that your eyes are on specific opportunities. So when you see those opportunities, you should also remember to apply for them. There is the action of also reaching forward for that opportunity that you're looking for. So it was on someone's Instagram story that I saw, hey, apply for this One Young World Summit at in London, apply for it. And I clicked. I remember that day vividly. I was sitting on the floor of my sitting room, holding my child on one hand, and then with my phone, just scrolling Instagram. Sitting there, I applied for that opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 months later, I got an email. Congratulations, you've been selected to attend the One Young World Summit. Your sponsors are the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Orange Corners. Because you're being sponsored by the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you have to be flown first to the Netherlands, that's The Hague, to attend the pre-summit. And from the Netherlands, you would now move with your fellow delegates to London. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, that was how I was able to go on an all-expense paid trip to Netherlands, and from Netherlands to London. Everything was provided. If I were broke and didn't have any money, I would have attended that summit and come back home without spending a dime, right? My visa fees, my airport fees, my transportation within the cities. I got an Oyster card, all expense paid. So it just starts with you having that purpose, knowing exactly what it is you want. And because when such opportunities show up, it's easier for you to identify them and apply for them, right? So please today, take a moment today and think critically about what kind of opportunities you're looking for and start putting out content that are relevant to those opportunities. So that brings me to the second pillar in building your online credibility: demonstrate expertise. So we've touched on this a little bit when we're talking about defining your purpose, what kind of opportunity you're looking for, what kind of subject would you like to start writing about that you are knowledgeable about. So I'll go further on this, right? So demonstrate your expertise. Remember that I told you that you don't have to be an absolute expert in that subject to be able to share about it. You've gone to school for 4 years studying agriculture or horticulture, and you want opportunities to do research in this field. Start sharing from your notebooks. Go back to your school notes and start sharing about it. That's how you show expertise. Just share. My quote: tell your degree got you here. Now prove what you do with that knowledge. Right? So some of the ways that you can do this is by writing articles. So how many of you here know Medium? How many of you here know Medium? If you know Medium, raise your hand. If you're wondering, if I want to start writing an article here, where can I publish that? You can start writing on Medium. You can decide to start writing on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has this opportunity for you to write newsletters, right? You can start writing newsletters. There was a point in my life where I was working a job that I love, that I truly, truly loved. I had a very, very big title, but the salary I was earning was not commensurate with the name that I was being called. I'm an Igbo girl, and if I don't speak Igbo here, then I have not started. Like, if you're Igbo here and you understand, please help me translate for somebody. I was answering Nkwafa Nebu Wankita. I was acting CEO but I was earning 350,000 naira salary. Yes. And I said to myself, you know what? Please, can somebody translate in the chat for non-Igbos? I was answering Nkwafa Nebu Wankita. I was acting CEO, but my salary was not commensurate with the big salary. 350K is about $100. I was earning $200 a month as acting CEO, right? I said to myself, you know what? If I've been active CEO, big name that accuse it. Oh, yes, Chijoke, thank you very much. Thank you, Sandra. I said to myself, wow, under 3 months of working here, I've been made acting CEO. That means I actually really know what I'm doing, because sometimes you can also grapple with inferiority complex, especially if you grew up in the kind of background that I did. I grew up in the village, guys. I grew up in a town, a very small town called Ogidi. Like, my town is as big as the estate that I currently live in. Thinking about it, I grew up in a very small town, where you were told, don't speak too much. Don't speak. You're too ambitious. Bring your head down. Bring your head. Like, be humble. You're too ambitious as a child. I was told such things, right? I was actually told that a woman should be seen, not heard. For a very long time in my life, my mom would tell me, see, a woman should be seen, not heard. I talked just too much for a woman, and my mom, and I actually made it into like a mantra for myself. Whenever I feel the urge to speak up, or whenever I felt the urge to, voice my opinion, I remember a woman should be seen, not heard, and I'll keep short. And those kind of things, those kind of upbringing can have a huge impact on your confidence as a grown-up, right? Until I deliberately started working on it. So being made acting CEO made me realize, wait, this thing. If you're being made acting CEO of a fintech, that means that there's something they saw in you. So it means that you can actually deliver. So why not look for bigger opportunities where you are going to earn more? And at that point in my life, I had stopped my business because the business was not making enough money, right? And I had bills to pay. I had young children to take care of. I wanted to support my husband, and I'm just here. I love this job that I'm doing. I love the impact I'm making in these women's businesses. But my major goal of leaving my business was to make money. I could have stayed in my business. It was my passion as well, and continued earning the mega profits that was coming from the business. But I stepped out for a purpose, to make money and also to work a job that I love. That part of job that I love was checked, but the other part of money was not checked at all. And so I started writing LinkedIn. I started a LinkedIn newsletter. I started writing consistently every week. I made it a duty to write something every week. Was I consistent? There were some times that I couldn't write every week. I ended up writing every 2 weeks. I ended up writing once a month, but I wrote. I remember I would come to church and some of the big men I look up to in church would tell me, oh, I read your newsletter on this and I sent it to my staff, And listen, the things you put out online, the articles you write, it's going to go into rooms where you might never be. It's going to get into the sight and presence of people who you might never meet. The articles, the things that you write and put out into the world will open doors for you that you will never, in your wildest opportunity, imagine. So today, all of you here, this week, today is just Wednesday, commit to writing one thing today. And somebody said, if the first product that you put out is perfect, you started too late. Do not care about what anybody will say. Do not care about how anybody will feel, or they might laugh at you, but you know what you're going for. You know what you're gunning for, right? So start writing. Start with 350 words. Start writing on Medium. Share it on your LinkedIn page. if there are people you need to block and unfollow so that you will not feel a certain way when you publish certain things, block them. But make sure that you are not use AI smartly, right? Do not let AI write everything for you. I'm sure that everybody here already knows how to properly prompt on ChatGPT and the other LLMs. Let me know in the chat if you guys don't know how to do that. Maybe I can send you something to listen to or watch to be able to do that. So if you're writing, use it after you've written everything you wanted to write from your head, from your school notes, from the research that you've made and everything. You can now use ChatGPT or Gemini or whichever one to now refine what you've written. But also remember to really go back after it has refined for you to also read through it and add your human touch to it, okay? So I've talked about blogging, I've talked about LinkedIn posts, I've talked about webinars, online workshops. Organize something. You can start organizing something for students, right? You can start just delivering that talk. Make a flyer by yourself and say, hey, I want to give this talk on this. If you're going through this, or if you are working on something related to this, join my webinar and I'll share information with you. Just start sharing. The good thing about social media is that whether you prefer writing, whether you prefer audio, whether you prefer video, there's something for everybody now. How is that? Can somebody let me know how magical that is, that in the world that we live in now, you can wake up today and say, I don't want my face to be shown. And you can start making faceless YouTube videos where you are just teaching and showing your slides. Or you start a podcast. I mean, there's no gatekeeping anymore. There's no barrier to entry anymore. As long as you have a smartphone, as long as you have a smartphone, as long as you have internet, you can do these things. And even if you don't have a smartphone or internet, there are workspaces that allow you to use their digital tools and their internet. So I have here a picture of myself on business day. I woke up one Saturday morning and I got a notification on my LinkedIn. And this was it. I did not solicit for this article about me to be written. I did not even know that it was going to be written. I was not approached for an interview. They simply looked around the internet for my digital footprint, the things that I've said about myself, some of the things I've put out about my work, and put together a beautiful article about me on Business Day. How incredible is that? That's the power of building an online credibility, right? Now, let's talk about some people we know today that see, what still baffles me is that somebody can start from ground zero. Like somebody at the sound of my voice today, hopefully, can say, I want to change my life. I have never posted anything on social media before, or I've been posting, but I've not been consistent. Today, I want to change my life. I've seen young people. Adeife Adeyeye, I don't think this girl is up to 25. She just woke up one morning and said, you know, how many of you follow her? We watched her build from 1,500 followers, 5,000 followers, 100,000. We watched her. If you knew when she had 5,000 followers, raise your hand. Raise your hand or type it in the chat. Right? She will come online and say, this one is for my girlies and my girlies alone. She'll just talk. People will yabba, people will abuse her. See, I tried to use her as an influencer for my company. Guess how much she charged me? She charged me 1.5 million. While people were laughing at her in the days that she was building, she kept going. Even though the people trolling her have not stopped, some people still hate her and everything. But guess what? She's making her money. She has built her business. She has rebranded herself over and over again. The message she started with is no longer the message that she has continued with today. Right? So that's when I say, don't get stuck trying to figure out one niche to contribute from, or what industry to focus on. Start with something, just start. Clarity comes with motion. Clarity comes in doing, not in planning, in doing. Do it as you plan. Do it as you plan. Every time I join a new organization, I know that the best practice is to take your time with onboarding. After onboarding, you now put together your strategy and you now share with your manager for them to approve. Then you now start implementing. All this can take 3 months. I don't do that too. Once I join an organization, I'm asking myself, what's the lowest hanging fruit that I can achieve in this for this team today? What is the lowest hanging fruit? Like, what is the biggest hit that I can make with the knowledge I already have? What problem can I solve immediately? As I'm going and doing and solving problems and doing and talking to people, I'm making impact, showing my worth. And as I do that, I'll now start gradually putting together my strategy. That's the agile approach that I take. And I want you to take that approach too in your social media, building your online credibility, right? Then, how many of you know Salem King? If you know Salem King, raise your hand. We all knew him when he was slim, when he was young, when he really, really young. And he decided to post in black and white. Wear the same t-shirt, post in black and white, just to remove as much barrier from posting as he could. Maybe at that time he didn't have the beautiful house that we see him make these videos in now. And he was like, I won't let this stop me. Where is that plain background I have in my house? He positioned his chair there. And when he finishes making his video, he will turn it to black and white. He was consistently sharing in black and white. How many of you know Salem King? If you know Salem King, raise your hand or give me thumbs up. If you knew him, give me thumbs up. How many of you knew him when he had 1,000 followers, 1,500 followers, right? But he continued, and today. So how many of you know today we call Salem King the creator's creator? The creator's creator. And his messaging has changed over the years. He's now focusing on creators, right? But in those years, he talked about everything. He didn't have a specific thing. He just shared his thought process around different. And he would drink from his cup. Who knows him? If you know Temisa and Emmanuel, give me thumbs up. Anisha knows him. Amira knows him. Juliet knows him. Great. Today, he rarely does that anymore. He rarely does that anymore. His content has completely changed. So when I say start where you are with what you have, just go. Right? He would make us laugh. So some of you have wits for days. Don't keep it for just your family. When that thought comes to your mind, set your ring lights and just shoot it and post it. And don't worry about whether the video quality is clear, is fantastic or not. Make it black and white like Salem and just post. Okay? But remember, you have to be very intentional about it. Right? Don't just say everything that comes to your mind. If you're planning to be a politician, years to come, a diplomat, all those things, the things that you say might come back to bite you. So think long term, right? Well, how many of us also know Eniola Adeoluwa Eni? How many of us know Eni? He started as the lip gloss boy. That was what he started at. Do you all remember when he was the lip gloss boy? And he will come as he's talking, he's rubbing his lip gloss. Today, he's a PhD student. I hope you all know that. He's a PhD student. Today, his online presence is sponsoring his education, sponsoring his travels. Everybody wants to be his friend. And guess what? He's also a UN ambassador. But how did he start? He started with just saying his thing and rubbing his beautiful lip gloss. Look at it today. So I've given you 4 different examples, from the funny to the controversial, to the black and white, to everything. So I hope that fully you see yourself in one of these people. And let me tell you, after I started my job, what was the time? Okay. After I started my first, I worked for a few years after school, left, started my business, and then due to some personal challenges, I lost my first business. Then second business, I decided to stop and go back into full-time employment. Between the time that I left my job and the time that I started looking for another job was 6 years. So I had a 6-year career break. And within 3 years of coming back, I'm in a job that truly satisfies my soul, pays my bills, and allows me to save. And all this was possible because within that 6 years that I was on my career break, within that 6 years, I was building an online presence. I went from posting about child nutrition and cooking, sharing recipes, posting about the research that I'm making about the raw material that I'm using for my business, posting about recipes, like different things. It's changed over the years. It changed over the years. Today, I'm trying now to build back up, maybe because I do not really have a specific goal that I want to achieve now. Maybe that's why I'm not really as consistent as I used to be with my online presence. But today, I want to inspire women. I want to share my story and inspire. Adamo, please, can you mute? I want to share my story. I want to inspire women to know that you can go from just mommy and maybe as long as 6-year, 4-year career break to getting back into the career of your dreams, being able to, provide for yourself financially, being able to do that. See, motherhood, part of the penalties of motherhood is inability to provide for yourself. You could lose your source of income just because you became a mom, right? Right? But thank you, Chibike. So I want to share from my experience that no matter how bad it is, that you can say to yourself, I want to start a business, and just start a business. I want to go back to full-time employment, and you're able to do that, right? You can decide which path you want to go, and you are able to do that. I'm sharing my story to inspire other women to do that. That's what my niche is about. Now, you see how it has metamorphosed over the years. I cannot tell you that in 2 years' time, that's the same thing I'll be talking about. But the most important thing is that I'm online, my presence is there. When I apply for opportunities and they come and look at my page, they will see how I'm supporting women. They will see my trajectory over the years, and they'll see the beautiful write-up that resulted from the my online credibility that I've built over the years. Okay, so let's move quickly because I do not have any more a lot of time left anymore. So let's talk about the third thing on the pillar. That third thing is authenticity. People connect with people, not just perfect profiles. Sometimes on Instagram, I'll just come across, young people who live in not so aesthetic environments, but they're just sharing a day in my life. They wake up on the bed that is on the floor with no fan, with their clothes hanging on the doors. They are sharing, and you look, they start with 5,000 followers, 6,000, 10,000, 100,000. Next thing, brands are reaching out to them. Has anybody seen such brands? I know I've seen one or two. Has anybody seen such brands? If you have, give me the thumbs up. And if you remember any of them, type their handle on the chat here. This is to tell you that people connect with people, not perfect profiles. So what is authenticity? Authenticity is showing up as your true self. That's what it means. Again, it does not mean showing up scruffy. It means showing up where you are with what you have confidently. It refers to being genuinely yourself, not trying to be what you're not borrowing somebody's sitting room or workstation to make videos, right? Start with where you are. As you build and grow, people will watch you grow, watch you have all the nice aesthetic things. They are able to relate more with you, right? It's about reflecting your true values, your personality, your experience. My voice is not strong, powerful, and everything. I'm not going to come here and force and start shouting at you all so that I can sound bold. No, I am still going to maintain my tiny voice as it is, right? So it means being honest, being transparent, so that they with them some of the mistakes that I made. I share some of the mistakes that I made when I left my previous job, what I would have done differently. Right? It resonates with people. People who are able to relate with you, they're able to connect with you based on all of that. Right? So quickly, so that you can ask questions, let's move to the fourth pillar, which is consistency. So when you talk about consistency, it's not about posting every single day. In the context of building online credibility, consistency means showing up reliably and predictably, both in your presence and in your message, right? It's about being dependable and coherent across all your online activities. You cannot say, I want my online presence to be about women empowerment, and you're posting every day about women empowerment, sharing tips, and then in your chats or in a comment, you are bashing another woman. That's not consistency. You have to be consistent. You have to train yourself to be consistent. Let your values, so it's not just in the frequency of your show-ups, it's also in your values. Your values have to be consistent, okay? So lastly, engagement and value. So this is the best part for me, because as an introvert, listen guys, as an introvert, I've been able to build incredible friendships by showing up authentically online, by engaging and showing value. I've met people that have supported me in this world, have shared opportunities for me by simply engaging. So it's not enough to come online and post. You're not engaging. Engagement and communication, it's a two-way thing. It's a two-way thing, right? As you're posting, also find out a few pages, a few communities on social media, on LinkedIn, that you can connect with. So consistently engage with them. When they put out posts, meaningfully engage in the conversations. Don't just drop emojis. Meaningfully engage in the conversations. So these are people who have maybe they are sharing similar content as you. There's room for everybody to grow. In fact, the more you're commenting meaningfully on their pages, the more you are also drawing attention to yourself, the more you are endearing yourself to them. When opportunities, they can't take up all opportunities. When opportunities come up and they will say, oh, there's this person that is always commenting on my page, and we are in the same field, let me share the opportunity with him or with her. So you have to, that's how to build online presence. It's not just about posting. Posting is maybe like 50%. The other 50%, believe you me, is how you show up for other people online, how you engage with other people online. There was somebody online that during those days I was really sharing about motherhood, child cooking and nutrition. I stopped for like 3 months. I stopped because I had a medical, extenuating circumstances. I had to stop. And guess what? This lady messaged me, said, oh, I noticed that you've not been online. Is there anything I can help you? Are you okay? Until today, every time I see opportunities that are relevant to her, I send it to her because she has my heart. She shows that she truly cares, right? So as you post, make sure you are engaging. What you can do today, another assignment I'm giving you today is to make a list of all the people online. Use keywords to search for. Okay, if you're in agriculture, look for people who post content about agriculture. If you're in health and fitness, look for people who post those kind of content. You know, if you want speaking to start building your speaking engagement profile for maybe finance and things like that, follow people that already do, right? Engage in meaningful conversations when you follow them, okay? And so the quote here says it's a two-way street. Don't just broadcast, converse and contribute, okay? So finally, brethren, start small, start now. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. You're not too young. You're not, your voice is not irrelevant. Just start posting. So I want here for somebody who is ready to change their lives today, there's an exercise I want you to do. Can everybody go to futureme.org? Futureme.org. Emanuela, please type it on the chat. Futureme.org. I want us to make a commitment to ourselves today. So go to this website, futureme.org. Can someone type it? Futureme.org. Yes. If you've opened the website, type done. If you've opened it, type done. So let me show you how it works. So let us do something today. Futureme.org. Because the difference between people who get results and people who don't is action. And I have 120 people here today. Out of 120 people, I want 10 of you who are ready to change their lives this year. Anything can happen to you this year. Anything can happen to you this year. Here's what I want you to do. If you've opened the website, you will see where he has started writing for you. You're going to write a letter to your future self. Oh, can you guys still see my screen? I don't think so. Okay. I don't think
I can still see your slides. Your slides are still displayed. Oh, it just went off now.
Yeah, I'm trying to show a specific Chrome tab, futureme.org, share. Okay. So this is what the website looks like. It allows you write a letter to your future self. Choose a date for that letter to be sent back to you. So today is August 20th, 2025. You're going to write a letter to your future self. Tell it that today you just listened to one girl like that, Nkechi Idemachi, and today she challenged you to start building your online presence, start building your online credibility towards this opportunity. You write out that opportunity that you're hoping for, whether it's the job, whether it's the research opportunity, whether it's the money, whatever it is. She has challenged us to start building an online credibility towards achieving this specific goal that I'm setting for myself. Just write to your future self. Pour out your heart, the way you're feeling right now, how achieving that goal will change your life, what it will change in your life, what achieving that goal, what impact it's going to make in your life. Write about it in this letter. And when you're done, come here and choose a date. You can choose a duration. You can say in 6 months' time, I want this letter to be sent back to me, and by this time, I would have achieved this goal. So make sure your timing is realistic, right? Make sure it's realistic. You can set a small goal. If you achieve that small goal, it's going to spur you to achieve more. So you can say in 6 months' time, I would have posted 100 content on social media. I would have built this number of followers. But most importantly, what opportunity will that online presence have brought to you? It would have brought me a speaking engagement. It would have enabled me appeal to that professor in so school that I want to go and do his research under. It would have enabled me gain international speaking opportunity, whatever it is. Just make sure it's the goal you're setting is realistic within the time frame that you're selecting. So whether it's 6 months, whether it's 1 year, whether it's 3 years, or if the duration that you want is not here, you can choose a date and put the exact date you want. And then when you're done, you can make it private, you can make it public, you can make it but keep it private. Type your email address. After typing your email address, you click send to the future. When you do this, on that date that you choose, this letter will be sent back to you. And it is my hope that as many of you that put in the work, when you receive this letter that you are writing today, you will be very, very happy because you made a promise to yourself and you kept that promise to yourself. So if you are done with this letter, you are done with choosing the date and putting if you've sent to the future, type to that future, type to the future in the chat, type to the future in the chat. And with that, I've come to the end of my talk today. Now open the floor for questions. Do you have any questions? I'm ready to answer.
Okay, before the questions come in, can we please give Mrs. Belinda a round of applause? Thank you so much, Ma. It was really an impactful session. I've learned a whole lot, a whole lot. And then when you were speaking about your experiences, where you came from, where you are currently, it says a lot. It tells me that I can do it. And I believe it also told our leaders on here that they can do it. Thank you very much, Ma, for your time. We are very much grateful. So if we do have questions, you could either type them on the chat box, or you could unmute your mic. You could raise your hand, and then I could call you out to unmute your mic and speak. Either way. So if you do have questions, you can type them in the comment section, or you unmute your mic and speak. Okay, a hand is raised. Please unmute your mic and speak. I can't see the person, but if you did raise your hand, please unmute your mic. Okay, Favor Okoli. Favor, please, you can unmute your mic and speak. Favor first. Favor, you can unmute your mic and speak if you can hear me.
Hello. So I sincerely want to apologize. I left my hand up when we asked the question the previous time. However, if I do have a question, I'll raise my hand. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you, Favor, for clearing that up. Then I can see Anu Grace. Okay, no. Okay, I can't see any more hands. But there's a question on the comment section, so I'm just going to read it. And Mary said, please, Ma, how do we maximize our potential in building an online presence in a new area still in development?
In a new area still in development. See, in this world that we live in, there's nothing new under the sun. There is nothing new. There is nothing. Please, if there's anything new, type it in the chat for me. Type it. So find people who are already doing something similar to. It might not be exactly the same, but it might be similar. Find people who are already doing it. How are they doing it? Right? Sometimes all you need to do is to not copy Still, right? How many of you have read this book, Still Like an Artist? The difference between copying and stealing is that when you copy, yeah. So when you copy, you're doing copy and paste verbatim. But when you steal, you're looking at how you don't want the person to know you've stolen. So you've taken an idea, you rebrand it, add your own flair, add your own touch to it, and share. Well, also, okay, there is this person that I know. She's now a big finance guru on the online space. But when she started, what she did basically was resharing content around finance, resharing content around money. That was what she did. And as she did that, she found her own voice and then started posting original content and things like that. But then those original content, it might just be that she found a way to finally go from just posting other people, copying, to stealing. So revamping what she has read or what she has seen somebody done, adding her own flair to it and posting about it, right? So you now also have, you can now use AI platforms like Perplexity to conduct researches to see, because you are limited by what you know. You might say, oh, nobody has written about it. But by the time you use research tools like the one I just mentioned, can you pull up topics around these subjects for me? You will see that somebody has written about it. Maybe not directly verbatim or something, but there's something existing that you can build from. Don't be afraid. Just start. Okay? Whether it's a new field or one that has been properly worked in.
Okay, thank you, Ma, for that response. I believe Mary has gotten clarification. Then, okay, there's a question on here on the message box. I would read it. Question, Ma. Thank you very much, Ma, for the insightful presentation. I'm a recent civil engineering graduate, and I have always had that intention to have a consistent educational brief section relating to civil engineering and general knowledge. I did for a while on LinkedIn and then stopped. Didn't know if that was the best platform for such publication, Ma. What platform do you think I can use, and any specific tip do you recommend for one to get the audience? Since it's an educative section, it's kind of hard, but if it's just contents of styles, fashion, and all, TikTok, Instagram gives them a beautiful platform. Okay. I don't know if you understand.
Yes, I understand your question. What's his name? I understand.
Al-Mustafa.
Myself, I cannot see where I am anymore. I cannot see the tab I'm on. But let me just, you guys can still hear me, right? Okay.
Yes, Ma, I can hear you.
So, Al-Mustafa, here is what you're going to do. Here is a question, an assignment that I want you to do for me. Number one, who is your audience? What is your intended purpose? What do you want to achieve by putting out content around civil engineering? What are you trying to achieve with that? One. Two, who is your audience? Who do you want to appeal to with that content? Who? Write that down. You've written down your purpose. Maybe you want to land a job in a civil engineering company. You've written down that your audience are maybe MDs, CEOs, developers, all of that. You've written that down. Now, maybe the topic that you're writing under this subject is not appealing to those people. Maybe I might not be right? Now, ask yourself, what problems do these people have? What problem do they have? These people what problem do they have? Make a list of all that problem that they have. and start writing solutions to that problem. So let's say, for example, as a civil engineer, maybe you're more interested in road construction, or maybe you're more interested in buildings and everything. You're going by a building and you see maybe something that wasn't properly done or properly done right. You take a picture and you write about it. This is what I noticed. These are the structural problems that this house is going to have in the next 5 years. These are the ways whoever it is that supervised this construction should have gone about it to ensure that that problem does not happen. So if you're a developer and you're looking to build something, do this to avoid it. And you post it. Now, you have identified a problem. You have shown solution. You have shown expertise. That's how to do it. And this applies to all industry. For a graphic designer, start redesigning logos. Start redesigning. There are times that I see some billboards and I'm like, you mean that you are paying 35 million naira for this billboard? And I cannot understand the messaging. So if you're a graphic designer, if you're a brand strategist, maybe what you would do is to start looking at billboards and start analyzing the problems and start redesigning it the way it should have been to attract the audience that whoever put out the billboards is looking for. So let's say I'm looking for a brand strategist and I come to your page and I see how you have just broken down a lot of billboard ads, social media ads, video ads, how you've broken down several. It shows me that you know what is up. You have the expertise in that field. And I can engage you, I can employ you to do the work. Does that answer your question? So the first one is what? What are you trying to achieve? Maybe land a job, maybe land deals, maybe. Number two, who is your audience? CEOs, developers, etc. Then number three, what is their problem? And thank God for ChatGPT. ChatGPT can tell you what their problems are. In Nigeria, in Kenya, whatever, make your prompting so clear and so detailed that when ChatGPT gives you the response, it will directly give you what problems these people are looking for. And then ask ChatGPT to give you topics to write that address these questions. Then you go to work and do your writing. Does that answer your question?
I believe it does. Thank you, Ma, for that. Then he should also check, Mohammed, no? So Dean, you should also check the comment section. Balogun left you a person to follow. He said he does exactly what Mrs. Belinda has said. So you could look up the person as well. Could look up the person as well. Then the last question on here is from Esther Olani. Said, thank you, Ma, for this impactful session. I would like to know how to go about publishing a newsletter on LinkedIn.
Okay, I'm trying to share my screen again and just show you. And just show you. Can you see my LinkedIn? The interesting thing is that my LinkedIn is showing on the screen, but it's not showing here. It's not showing here.
I can see it, Ma. I can see Joseph Ruta Kangwa.
That's not what I'm seeing on my own screen. Interesting. Oh my God, I don't know what's going on. Okay, it's opening now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you all can see my Instagram, right? So
Yes,
when
Ma.
you go to your profile, let me try something. Go to home. Then you see video, photo, write an article. Click on write an article. When you click on write an article, it takes you to the newsletter directly. So you simply, if you now want to brand it, you simply settings, schedule. Okay, click on settings. Then just follow the different prompts, play around with it. And without doing all of that, just start writing. You don't even need to upload any picture or anything. Just start writing. Once you're done writing, you can share. Okay. You can share. That's it. It's as simple as that. Again, just go to your home, your LinkedIn home. When you click on your LinkedIn home, click on write an article. When you click on write an article, it automatically takes you to LinkedIn newsletter. This is your LinkedIn newsletter. And when you can start publishing, and when you have the time, you can now come and click on manage here and settings, and then you can start adding all the Serere to your LinkedIn newsletter. That's it, as simple as that.
All right. Thank you, Ma, for that demonstration. I believe Esther is clear on that. If you're still a little bit confused, you can as well use Google. Just punch in, how do I post newsletter on my LinkedIn page? I believe you see instructions on there. Favor hands has been raised. She'll be the last person to be asking questions this evening. So please, Favor, please unmute your mic and speak.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So my question is with respect to the one world application. So I tried to apply, and then I realized that one very important thing is to come from an organization or to come through an organization. Please, how do we go about registering for the summit or applying for the summit? I really appreciate if you can put us through. Thank you.
Yeah, so applying for the One Young World Summit, there are two ways. The first is that you want to sponsor yourself to attend. If you want to sponsor yourself to attend, it costs just the summit alone costs $3,000. If you want to sponsor yourself to attend the One Young World Summit, to register to attend the summit costs $3,000. That's excluding your flight, excluding your ticket, excluding your accommodation, excluding all of that, $3,000. So if you want to do that, send an email to westafrica@oneyoungworld.com if you can afford it. However, the second option is to apply for scholarships. There are organizations that give scholarship to young people to attend the summit, right? So you check online, One Young World scholarships. You see a list of available scholarships. This summit is in November. By now, I don't think there are any more open scholarships available. The scholarships start opening as early as February, right? So from February, you can start applying. So you have between now and February to start putting in the work and showing workings online. So there are different organizations have their various focus, right? Their various focus. So it could be the organization is focused on the environment and climate. So if that's what they are focused on, they are looking for young people who have done some work in these areas. They are looking for such people to sponsor them to attend the One Young World Summit. There are organizations that are interested in education, youth, employment. So these organizations, that's what they are interested in. So they are looking for young people who have done some work in these areas to sponsor them. So Deloitte, Coca-Cola, Audi, Orange Corners, Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs, there are so many scholarships. So from February, you can go to the One Young World website. Just type One Young World scholarships, and you see a list of available scholarships to apply for. When you apply, if you're selected, kudos to you. You get sponsored, all expense paid to attend the summit. Next year, it's happening in South Africa next year. And the year after next year, that's 2027, it's happening in Japan.
Thank you very much, Ma, for that explanation. Thank you so much for spending your time with Top 100 African Future Leaders. It was a pleasure to hear you speak. It was a pleasure to hear you share your experience with us. I believe in no little way you have impacted all of us here who has heard you today, and we are very much grateful for that. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, you all. I wish you all the best. Bye.
Thank you, Ma. All right. I believe we've spent, like, it's a well spent time. So it's not just time was going, it was invested into something that would bear fruit tomorrow. As Ma was talking about scholarship, I was working on an article some days back, and then I discovered that about $2 billion worth of scholarship is not being utilized by students yearly. When I saw it, I was not sure. I said it's not true because it was just on an article. So I had to take it on Google. I'm not sure now if it's 2 billion or 200 billion, but I know it starts with a 2. So you can actually check it. It's not being utilized by students annually. And I was like, oh my God. And we have thousands of students, millions of them seeking scholarship. We just need to know the right processes, hear the right information, be in the right circle, attend the right meetings, just like this. So thank you all for your time today. Thank you. It was a time well spent. As usual, I would share the LinkedIn handles of the two speakers on the group chat. So do not worry about that. If you can't get it on here, we'll share it on the group chat. And then we'll be having another summit. The fifth one is going to be on Friday, one day from today, I believe. So like I would always say, don't just be the hearer of knowledge or the hearer of good knowledge. Be the hearer and also be the doer. So after hearing, go back home. Oh, you are home already, I guess. I mean, after hearing, in your comfort space, do what is needed. Just like the futureme.org that Mrs. Belinda asked us to write to our future self on. I'm still going to remind us after now, maybe tomorrow or on Friday. I'm still going to remind us in case you've not yet done that. I still have a letter from my final year, if I'm not mistaken, that I wrote to myself, and it still reminds me of a lot. So it's a good practice. So thank you once more for your time. Do have a wonderful night. We'll see you on Friday and on the group chat this night. Have a wonderful night.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye. Good night. Good night. Thank you, Christiana. Thank you, Stephen. Good night. Good night, Balogun. Good night.
No, please, is it possible to get the recording for tonight's meeting?
Yes, it will be sent on the group chat. It will be sent.
Okay, because previous ones have not been sent to.
Yes, we are working on them. We'll be